Here. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. It's that time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this fine fall Sunday. And people, I am JT, a.k.a. Master, and as you see him back at me, it's For No Reason Fantasy Football, and we're going to be talking about Week 12. Week 12, people. Hopefully you're in a situation that you're in the playoffs, or you're just that close that you need a win, or you need it's crunch time. Week 12, 13, 14, and then the playoffs start for most leagues. Well, you got to believe that. Oh, you got to believe or hope that you're in a position. Hopefully, if you listen to me, and I mean, you didn't have to take everything I said because I'm not perfect. I get things wrong just like everybody else. Okay. But I've been pretty spot on with some of my, especially sleeper picks. And I just want to tell you, people, it's another week of sleepers. I got some sleepers. We're going to go through every matchup this week. Now, 4 games have been played already, 3 on Thanksgiving and 1 on Black Friday. So we got the remainder of the games, including Monday Night Football, that we're going to talk about. And I want to be able to give you some valuable information. You do with it as you want. Okay? You do with it as you would like. I'm just putting the information out there and my opinion of some of the players. But we're going to be going through every freaking matchup. And hopefully, some of my advice, I'm taking. What I tell you is what I do. Okay? If I have the players on my roster to play, I do that too. I don't just say, well, you go play these players, and I leave those on the bench and play some other players. No. I keep it 100. I've always said that, either here on this show or on other shows, as in the FSP show. What I say is what I do. Okay? And hopefully it's giving you an advantage. It's giving you an advantage. You know, like I said, I'm going to go through every matchup this week, except for the ones that have already been played. It's old. It's history now. I can't change anything. I can't tell you, well, you shoulda, coulda, woulda. I can't do that. Can't do that. I'm not even going to try. That would be it wouldn't be true to what I do. All right. I'm not going to say, well, you should have played this. If I was you, I would have played that. No, I'm not going to say that. You're fantasy managers, whether this is your first year or your 10th year. You're fantasy manager. You know that. You play who you play. And on an FSP show yesterday, we had a guest, and he said that, and I've always said this, 96%. He said it, 96. I didn't say that, but a lot of it has to do with luck. You can put the players in position, but you can't control what happens to those players once they put in your roster, whether they perform like you would like for them to perform or exceed that, or they let you down. And no matter what you think your matchup is, I don't pay attention to projections, what people have projections. I put, you get an idea of what players that would go best, and you put those in the lineup. You could have, say, you have one of the best lineups with the players that you have in there, and your projection is more than what your opponent is. That doesn't mean anything, because what can happen is that your opponent players exceed what their so-called projections are, and you get your ass beat. And you wonder, like, what the heck happened? Or they meet their expectations of whatever their so-called projections are, and your team, I'm gonna say this, shits the bed. And none of your players do anything come close to what you expect them to do. That happens. It only takes 1 week to get, or several weeks to get a loss. It happens. I've had it happen to me over and over again. It's not a pretty sight, but you can't do anything about it. I've learned to accept it. Don't like it, but I've learned to accept it. It is what it is. You can't call your players trash. It could be one of your star players. Star players have bad weeks. Okay? And that you can't expect them to get 15, 20 points a week without having a bad week. Star players are human. They have bad weeks. They give you 4 or 5 points where you're expecting 15, 20 points. It happens. That's the part of fantasy that you can't control, unfortunately. So with that being said, we're not going to go through the Detroit and Green Bay, or Washington and Dallas, or San Francisco and the Seattle Seahawks. That's over and done with, along with the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. Over and done with. Okay? We're going to go with the first one that I'll be talking about, and that is the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. And like I said, I have a sleeper here for you people, and I'm going to try to give you a sleeper in every matchup. Every matchup, whether it's a wide receiver or running back, whatever. I'm going to try to do that for you. And then with this one, now, most people, I wouldn't say most people, but some people may have Derek Carr. I would play Derek Carr in this matchup. It's in the dome, and Derek Carr likes to push the ball down the field. Now, I'm going to say this. I would feel better about Chris Olave, in my opinion, if Jameis Winston was the quarterback. It seems like when the New Orleans Saints played last in Week 11, and Derek Carr got hurt, Chris Olave seemed like he came alive. Okay? But you got to play Chris Olave because he is who he is. He's a very good wide receiver. He's the number one wide receiver in this offense. And you got to play Chris Olave. You don't want to put him on the bench and Derek Carr has an epiphany and starts peppering Chris Olave, and they start connecting up. And I would feel better, but I'm still going to talk to about this guy. This is my sleeper wide receiver. Let me tell you something, people. Michael Thomas is on the IR. He's out for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. He's out for 4 weeks. And who's taking his place? A.T. Perry. That's right. A.T. Perry. I know we got Rashid Shaheed. A.T. Perry. Middle of the field. Taking that Michael Thomas role. Okay? You need a flex in the wide receiver position you would like? A.T. Perry in this is my choice for a flex if you want. Or wide receiver 3. More likely a flex. But 17, he's number 17 on New Orleans, and he's a rookie. Okay. A.T. Perry. Been getting more targets and getting the targets that Michael Thomas used to get. And it's in the middle of the field. He scored a touchdown last week with Jameis Winston. That's why I'm saying that. I'll make sure I tell you that. He scored a touchdown with Jameis Winston. All right, people. On the other side, I don't like Desmond Ridder. Oh. You know, this coaching staff, including the head coach, doesn't know, and I'm going to say this, doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. I'm just saying. Misusing his rookie running back that they drafted number 8 in the last draft. Drafted number 8 in the last draft. And he's just all of a sudden, he's got enough pressure from outside forces that are wondering why you're not using this kid when you drafted him so high. It's starting to use him. Okay. So I'm telling you, play Bijan Robinson. And I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Everything else is up in the air. The pass catchers in this, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Jonnu Smith, everything else is up in the air. It's a unknown. Okay. It's an unknown. I don't know if he's trying to salvage his job and get these players more heavily involved and bringing back the quarterback other than Taylor Heineke. I'm talking about Desmond Ridder. I'm not a Desmond Ridder fan. I don't think he should play Desmond Ridder, not even in a 2-quarterback league. Bijan Robinson. And like I said, I'm up in the air about Drake London, Jonnu Smith, and Kyle Pitts. Come on, man. Come on. Really? They're more than likely than not to give you a dud. They're more than likely than not to give you a dud. 4 or 5 points, 6 points, maybe 7 or 8 points. As in, they could easily give you double-digit points. This is the most inconsistent production that you can get from 3 players. Drake London, Jonnu Smith, and Kyle Pitts. Come on, man. Really bad. Really bad. All right, let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Steelers have gotten rid of their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. Is that going to be resurgent for Kenny Pickett and the passing game in Deontay Johnson and George Pickens? Players were were very discouraged and really, I shouldn't say discouraged. They were pissed off. Okay. And that was one of the reasons why their offensive coordinator got fired, because the offense did not generate any points. And for 10 weeks, they were getting outgained in yardage. For 10 weeks. You know, it could happen in 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. But for 10 weeks, they were getting outgained. The defense was trying their best, but the offense, because the offense couldn't produce and was putting the defense in bad situations, and the opposing offense was putting up more points, even though the offense was put in good situations and was able to score slightly more points than their opponent. I'm talking about Pittsburgh, but we're getting outgained week after week after week. And sooner or later, that's going to catch up to it. And it caught up to them last week against the Browns. My Browns. Caught up to them. Okay? So what I'm saying is this. I'm not playing Kenny Pickett. I think this is a running game. I think because on the other side, and we'll get to that, but on the other side is a rookie quarterback. Kenny Pickett's a second-year quarterback. Not a good quarterback. Not at all. And this is do or die for Kenny Pickett, meaning put up or shut up. Got rid of your offensive coordinator. Most of you guys were saying that the offense was outdated. Okay, so we're going to see if Kenny Pickett with a new offensive coordinator is going to be able to produce in the passing game and run this team like uh, it could be run with a capable quarterback. I'm not playing Kenny Pickett. I talked about inconsistency, highly inconsistent in throwing the football. I'm playing Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, and with this new offense, who's going to be the target monster in here? Deontay Johnson, who should be, because he's a more versatile wide receiver. Even though George Pickens has a lot of talent, he doesn't have a lot of versatility in his game, regardless of what people say. He doesn't have a lot of versatility in his game. Okay? Deontay Johnson does. And the second year wide receiver needs to realize that and needs to up his game, needs to improve on his ability to get open and not rely on 50-50 balls. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So don't play. I'm not a big George Pickens fan. I'm not a big George Pickens fan. I think the target monster is still going to be Deontay Johnson because he's the more versatile of the two wide receivers. And Pat Freiermuth is back. Kenny Pickett, and I've always said this. You've heard me before. If you listen to my program, I've always said, you listen to an FSP show, I've always said the best friend of a young quarterback is the tight end, including the slot wide receiver. Early, easy throws, middle of the field, get rid of the ball fast to the tight end. Would I pay Pat Freiermuth? I don't know what Kenny Pickett's going to do in this offense. I don't know how effective he's going to be. I have a hard time playing any of these pass catchers. I really do. I think this is a run-heavy team. I think it's run the football. And cross your fingers when you start to pass the ball with Kenny Pickett throwing the football. On the other side of the ball, come on, man. You got Jake Browning. How much can you trust Jamar Chase with Jake Browning? I know he's the number one wide receiver, but he's not going to have the same production as he had with Joe Burrow. No, not even close. I know he's going to get targeted a lot, but is that going to be is that going to bear fruit? Does that mean that, okay, I'm targeting Jamar Chase? I know targets equal opportunities. You know, I have an opportunity to catch the football. How much of fantasy relevance is that going to be? Okay. T. Higgins, is he going to show up this week? Tyler Boyd, come on. Really? Or is it going to be the tight end, maybe Tanner Hudson or Irv Smith Jr.? We don't know. This is also an unknown offense. Okay, he's got a full game, a full week of practice of playing because there's no Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. He's out. They got Jake Browning. That's the quarterback. This is probably one of the worst fantasy games going. I'm telling you right now. Running backs are going to dominate, should dominate this game. If you have Joe Mixon for Cincinnati or Jalen Warren or Najee Harris for Pittsburgh, that's who you play. The pass catchers are an unknown, especially because of the quarterbacks. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Now, this one, I'm telling you, people, this one should be a shootout. This one should be a shootout. You got AFC South team with quarterbacks that like to push the down the field. With quarterbacks that like to push the ball down the field. I'm telling you right now, if you have Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Stroud, you probably have him in your starting quarterback position. You play him. To me, that's a no-brainer. To me, that's a no-brainer. You play the running backs because I think they're going to be able to run the football, play action. Travis Etienne for Jacksonville, Devin Singletary for Houston. But the quality of all these players on both these teams is in the passing game. Is in the passing game. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley came alive last week. Calvin Ridley did. And Evan Ingram. You play him with confidence. I think Calvin Ridley is going to be finally awakened from last week, and they're going to get him the football early and often. That's the formula. Early and often. On the other side of the ball, come on, man. Tank Dell, 165, 5'7", 5'8". Come on, man. He's my height. Maybe not my size, but he's very slender, very small. But he can run routes, man. And he can go up and catch the football. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Noah Brown is not going to be there. And my sleeper, wide receiver, is Robert Woods. They're going to key on Tank Dell and Nico Collins. And that's going to leave Robert Woods to rub his hands and flourish. Robert Woods is my sleeper, is my flex if you have an ability to get Robert Woods. And I did. Okay? I just realized sometimes you just think, and sometimes you overthink, but sometimes you think, you know what? This game is going to be a shootout. This game, these guys like throwing the football. If they like throwing the football, there's many options on both sides of this team, Jacksonville and Houston, that are going to get opportunities. And that's who I named. Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Evan Ingram on Jacksonville. Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Tank Dell, not necessarily in that order, including Devin Singletary for Houston. C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. You know what? The Houston Texans are one game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars in the standings. Jacksonville is on top of the AFC South, and Houston is right behind them. This is one game that can catapult the Texans because they've beaten Jacksonville once already in Jacksonville. Catapult them to the top of the division. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So there's a lot on the line for both teams. Okay? A lot on the line for both teams. This is going to be a shootout. Last man standing is what's going to happen here. I think whoever has the football last is going to win this game. I don't think there's going to be a blowout. It was a blowout in Jacksonville. Houston won 37-17 in Jacksonville. Shocked Jacksonville. There's no shocking now. Jacksonville knows what it's up against. Okay? Better come out with all guns blazing. In that case, I'm saying this is going to be a shootout. Okay? On the other side, let me put it on, not on the other side, but we move on to the next game, which is going to be a interesting game. I think these two teams almost mirror themselves. I think they had decent defense, and the offense just does enough to keep them in the game or to win the game. That's how I see this Tampa Bay at the Indianapolis Colts. Baker Mayfield is a second option in a two-quarterback league. Okay, he's not the main quarterback in a one-quarterback league. I don't believe that. And Rashad White, Mike Evans, and with Baker Mayfield has been balling out. So has been Rashad White. I talked about Rashad White earlier in the season. Most guys didn't like Rashad White. He even told me. I tried to offer him in trades. Didn't like Rashad White. And I guess they had we come to realize, well, this guy's valuable. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to tell you that earlier, but you wouldn't listen. Okay. But your eyes were open. He's good in it. He's not a good runner, averaging less than 4 points. Excuse me. Averaging less than 4 yards a carry, but he is extremely efficient in the passing game. Extremely efficient in the pass game. And Baker Mayfield loved to check down. He loved to check down to Rashad White. Love to check down to Rashad White. You play Rashad White in this matchup. You play Cade Otton. Like I said, Baker Mayfield loved to check down. This is a check down tight end, Cade Otton. I told you about Mike Evans. He loves throwing deep to Mike Evans. So, and the odd man out, believe it or not, unfortunately, he's Chris Godwin. A lot of people like Chris Godwin. Well, a lot of people like a lot of players, but some players just aren't panning out. And what Chris Godwin is, you don't know. He's inconsistent. You don't know, and you don't need inconsistency going down the stretch in your fantasy season, getting closer to the playoffs. You need something that you feel is going to be more consistent and give you consistent fantasy points. And Chris Godwin falls into the inconsistent category. Okay? He falls into the inconsistent category. All right. On the other side, you know what? I know that Tampa Bay has a decent run defense, but they're not too good in the pass, against the pass. Okay? I would play Gardner Minshew. If I had Gardner Minshew and no better choice, I would play Gardner Minshew. Okay? As my number one quarterback. He's got some weapons. Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to name him who I think you should play out of this game from the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., and Josh Downs. Yes, Josh Downs. He's back from injury, and they are ready to roll. Gardner Minshew loves throwing to Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. You got two options to throw to. He's going to use them. They're playing in Indianapolis. Okay? Then we move to this. This is a bad game, people. Horrible game. Horrible offenses, meaning plural, meaning both of these offenses are horrible. Okay? New England Patriots, New York Giants. Come on, man. Really, we can't do any better than that? No. Come on, man. Really? No, we can't do any better than that. New England Patriots and the New York Giants. First, I'm going to the quarterback positions on both sides of the ball. Don't play them. I can't see it, won't see it. I've said this before, and it applies to both of these teams. Bad offenses. Bad offenses. Quarterbacks don't even think about playing. Tommy DeVito, come on, really? You know how Washington played, how bad that was, and Tommy DeVito looked like an all-pro. He ain't going to look like an all-pro. They're playing at home. Bill Belichick eats rookie quarterbacks, for the most part, for breakfast. And this is one of them. Okay? Mac Jones on the other side with New England, or Brett Zappi, or Bailey Zappi, whoever, I don't care what his name is. No. No way. No way, no how. All I can tell you is this. Play either New England or the Giants defense because neither one of these teams is going to score a lot of points. Okay? You flip a coin if either one of these teams in a defense are available, you play them because both these teams will not score a lot of points, and that's going to benefit your defensive special teams position. I tell you that right now. Options in this: Saquon Barkley, Ramondre Stevenson, maybe Ezekiel Elliott, and maybe Demario Douglas. But Demario Douglas, I don't know about that. I mean, they have limited options in the passing game, so he may be the only option or the only viable option. But come on, man, this is not a fantasy mine, a gold mine between these two teams. And I'm going to move on because that's all I can give you. I can't give you any kind of sleeper. You go to sleep watching this game. I tell you that. Otherwise than that, let's go Carolina and Tennessee. Ooh, another bad game. Another bad game. Tattoo. I call him Tattoo. Okay. He's Bryce Young. Tattoo. Come on, man. He's going up against, maybe he may look like the all-pro in this game because Tennessee's defense in the pass against the pass is horrible. But he only throws to Adam Thielen because that's his security blanket. Adam Thielen. That's who I'm saying to play. Adam Thielen. Miles Sanders, Cooper Hubbard. Come on, man. Tennessee is very good against the run. I can't in good conscience tell you to play either one of these guys. I've never liked Miles Sanders. Philly made him look good against that with that line in that offense, but this line and this offense is not Philly. And at the beginning of the season, I didn't like Miles Sanders and still don't like him. And I think I know running backs pretty well. On the other side, Will Levis is not that good. Carolina's strong suit in the defense is against the passing game. So I'm not expecting a lot from DeAndre Hopkins. Not expecting a lot from the tight end, Okonkwo, or Kyle Phillips. Not expecting a lot in the passing game with Will Levis throwing the football. I am expecting a lot because this is the type of team Tennessee is. In Derrick Henry running football. Okay. I'm expecting a lot. Okay. That's how I feel about that. I'm not going to go any further. You know my feelings on it. Just only a few guys. No sleepers in here. No guys that I can tell you to play that are going to show up and show out. Let's move on to the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Let me tell you something, people. Matthew Stafford is shaky against this division rival Cardinals, and they're playing in Arizona too. I don't trust Matthew Stafford. Don't trust the passing game. You got a banged up Cooper Kupp, and you got Puka Nacua, who I like better in this matchup than I like Cooper Kupp, believe it or not. And of course, Kyren Williams is coming back. Okay, this is the first game back off of IR. How effective is he going to be? How much is he going to get used? And how effective is he going to be? Okay. You play Kyren Williams at your own risk. That's what I'm telling you. Play him at your own risk. Okay. They think he can come back to his regular workload. Okay. I would put him in the flex. I would not put him at your RB1 or 2 in a flex. And then, out of your flex position, not expecting a lot. You're not expecting a lot. So I put Kyrie Williams in that position. On the other side of the ball, I love Kyler Murray. Playing at home, I think he's got a newfound reason for playing well and a newfound dedication to football. I love Kyler Murray in his matchup. You play Kyler Murray. I've talked about Kyler Murray for the last 3 weeks, and if you know what I've talked about Kyler Murray in the past, was not a friendly type of commentary, but I've seen a few things about Kyler Murray before he came back and realized, oh, this may be a new Kyler Murray. You got to play him. And first game back, he came back and won that game. Last game, he didn't play. I mean, he did not play that bad. But you can see that, okay, this is a viable option in the quarterback position in fantasy each and every week. And that's why I'm saying you play Kyler Murray along with James Conner. Rams can be run on, and James Conner is good in the passing game and in running the football. And then, believe it or not, I'm not strong on Rondell Moore, Marquise Brown. I know this is Kyler Murray, and I told you to play him. Okay, I think the ball's going to get distributed evenly, meaning these two wide receivers are not going to rack up huge fantasy points. Okay, they may be flexes. The best scenario this for the guys to be a flex in somewhere. I like Trey McBride. Kyler Murray, when he had Zach Ertz, used Zach Ertz a lot. Zach Ertz is no longer in there, and Trey McBride, who I've talked about before, weeks ago, has taken that spot. And believe me, Kyler Murray's going to use him. Short, safe throws in the middle of the field, and he can get yak, meaning yards after catch. Okay, Trey McBride is no slouch. You got a tight end position. You're looking for a tight end position. Trey McBride can fill that for you. All right, people, let's move on to a game that I'm going to be looking at a lot. Is this Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos? Let me go with the Cleveland first. You play Jerome Ford, you play Kareem Hunt, and you play, David Njoku. And this is my sleeper, people. This is my sleeper. Elijah Moore. You're going to say, who? Elijah Moore. He scored a touchdown last week. Had 6 or 7 targets, if I'm not mistaken, last week. Caught 5 or 6 balls last week with a touchdown. In the middle of the field, wide receiver. In the middle of the field, tight end, David Njoku. This is a rookie quarterback that wants to get the ball out quick. Okay? And those two options are where he's going to go. Okay? That's what I'm saying on that. Russell Wilson, and notice I didn't say anything about the quarterback. I expect him to play better, but I can't say yet. I can't say yet that he should be in somebody's lineup, whether it's a 1 or 2 quarterback league. Can't say yet. Got to see more. But he showed me promise. Let me put it that way. He showed me promise. He showed me that when push comes to shove, he can do what he needs to do to get a win for his team. As in last week, if you saw that game last week. Russell Wilson, he's going up against one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best defense, and a pass rush that's going to get Russ. I'm predicting at least 3 sacks in this game. At least 3. At least 3. I'd be surprised if it was less than 2. I really would. At least 3 sacks. You play Javonte Williams. He's coming along. Cleveland is probably more successful against the run than it is against the pass. They have a very good pass defense. So you play Javonte Williams. Is this a Cortland Sutton game because he's been the main guy, or is it a Jerry Jeudy? And Jerry Jeudy has been extremely inconsistent. Cortland Sutton is a big wide receiver. Russ likes to throw it up to the big wide receiver, let him go get it. I think the best option here is Cortland Sutton, in my opinion. Okay, not a Jerry Jeudy. I can't trust Jerry Jeudy, to tell you the truth. Let's move on to Kansas City and Las Vegas Raiders. Two guys I tell you to play. One of them will be Josh Jacobs on the Raiders, and the other one, because of what happened last week, I don't think it's going to happen this week, but you got to play him. You got to put him. The reason why I'm saying it, you got to put him in the lineup because you never know if it's going to be a great week or a mediocre to bad week for Devontae Williams. I'm talking about inconsistent. You're talking about a quarterback, a rookie quarterback. Come on, man. You got Kansas City Chiefs defense that's very good. Very, very good. And it's going to disrupt the passing game for the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay? Pat Mahomes, do we need to say more? I said those two words, Patrick Mahomes. Okay? You play Isaiah Pacheco, and you play Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has been slowing down. And he's thinking about retirement. When you're thinking about it, then you got 1 foot out the door. You got 1 foot out the door. Okay? Wouldn't surprise me if Travis Kelce after this season walks away. Would not surprise me one bit. Okay? And then next year, you're really scrambling for tight ends. You're really scrambling for tight ends. Who's going to be the tight end one? Mark Andrews? I don't know. TJ Hawkinson? Don't know. Okay. But you play those two players. Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco. And also, excuse me, Travis Kelce. Rashid Rice, I've talked about this over and over and over again for you people. Rashid Rice, they like throwing to him. They like throwing to him. Since the beginning of the season, and I've talked about this, Andy Reid doesn't like rookie wide receivers. And when you see Pat Mahomes thrown to on a consistent basis, a rookie wide receiver, you got to take note of that. You have to take note of that. And I took note of that early in the season. And it hasn't changed. Rashid Rice, people. He may not be Tyreek Hill, but he's one of the favorite options for Pat Mahomes. Let's go to this option. This game. This is going to be an interesting game. That's going to be played in Philadelphia. It's going to be an interesting game. I talked about this yesterday. What kind of heart, especially in the quarterback position, what kind of heart does the Buffalo Bills have compared to the Philadelphia Eagles? It reflects the play of the team reflects the play of the quarterback. The play of the team reflects the play of the quarterback. Gritty quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Gritty team in the Philadelphia Eagles. They grind it out. Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more for the Philadelphia Eagles? They have those many options. That's unfair. Okay? Because on the other side, you got James Cook. Maybe a flex. Maybe a flex because his play is inconsistent. You don't know what they're going to do, meaning Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs has been non-existent, basically, for the last 2 weeks. Non-existent. Is this the week that he gets used early and often? Because Philadelphia can be gashed in a passing game. Can be gashed, and can he take advantage of that? I mean, Stephon Diggs. I like Stephon Diggs in this game. I know in the past few weeks, Gabe Davis has been getting targeted a lot, along with Khalil Shakir. But I don't like Shakir in this game. I like Dalton Kincaid in this game. I like Stephon Diggs, and I like Gabe Davis. Because Buffalo spreads the ball around. Okay. Shakir is a big play wide receiver. Don't know if he's going to be able to get big plays to take advantage and be relevant in fantasy. Okay. Not feeling it that way. All right, but I just named, along with the kicker, Jake Elliott. I don't want to leave that out because Philly's going to get in position to score one way or the other, whether it's getting into the end zone or kicking field goals. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. In position, maybe not being able to score a touchdown, but definitely be able to make those 3 points for Jake Elliott and the Eagles. All right, let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens. And Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, people. I had to check something out real quick. You play Lamar. You play Gus Edwards. You play Zay Flowers. He's coming up. I think he's just pay attention to the injury list because Zay Flowers, I think, is coming up with an injury. I think he was limited on Friday, maybe. And just pay attention to that, people. And you play Odell Beckham Jr., sleeper here. There's no Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely, I know a lot of people went to the waiver wire and jumped all over thinking that Isaiah Likely is going to make up the difference in Mark Andrews. No. Andrews, I said, no. Odell Beckham Jr., yes. Isaiah Likely, good luck. I think you're going to be thoroughly disappointed when that happens. On the other side of the ball, you got to play Justin Herbert. They're playing in L.A. They have a quality quarterback in Justin Herbert. And you got to play. You think that they're going to be playing catch-up in this game. Justin Herbert, I try to tell people I didn't like Austin Eckler. I know I put him in the top 10, 12 when I did my mock draft. But I said he was going to regress. Most people, because of the name, jumped all over Austin Eckler. He's in and out, meaning he's inconsistent. Okay? They don't use him the same way. They use him, but they don't use him the same way. Sometimes he's balling out, sometimes he don't. And because of the name, because of the potential, people put him in the lineup each and every week. Okay? You got to put him in there because he's Austin Eckler, and he's going to be able to catch the football, plus run the football, and maybe get into the end zone. Okay? You got to play Keenan Allen. Okay? I don't like Quentin Johnson. Jalen Guyton, I do like. If he plays, I would play Jalen Guyton in a flex, wide receiver 3-4, somewhere along there. Quentin Johnson, he's not a get open type of wide receiver. He's got to be wide open in order to get the football. That doesn't happen early and often. Okay? All right, let's move on to the last game on Monday night. That is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. I like Justin Fields. I've liked him since he came back. You know, you get these young mobile quarterbacks, and they seem like they're revitalized once they come back. Kyler Murray came back from almost a year off his ACL injury, and Justin Fields coming off the IR, off a thumb injury. Okay. And they come back to their bestie, which would be DJ Moore. You got to play DJ Moore. Deontay Foreman is out. It's not going to play. So it's the Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson show. Okay? I'm telling you right now, people, pick up Roschon Johnson. And I've said this more than once over the last few weeks. Pick up Roschon Johnson off the waiver wire. Most people, you'll see him sitting on the waiver wire, not on somebody's bench. Pick up Roschon Johnson. Okay? Everybody's jumping on the Khalil Herbert bandwagon. Okay, I'm not one of them. I am not one of them. Tell you the truth. I don't think Khalil Herbert is going to do a whole hell of a lot. This Minnesota defense has improved. Thought this defense was going to be horrible. It has improved from week to week to week. Okay? It has improved. And I can't say it can keep up with the offense, but it's not that far behind. Not that far behind. And this is not a potent offense in Chicago. They can score points. It's not a potent offense. You play Josh Dobbs. I like Josh Dobbs against this defense at home. I don't like any of these running backs. I prefer Ty Chandler over Alexander Madison, to tell you the truth. I prefer Ty Chandler over Alexander Madison. I had Alexander Madison earlier in my on one of my teams, and I got rid of him. Passed him on to somebody else. Made a trade with a few other players or a player with Madison. Got rid of him. Didn't like him. Could see very inconsistent play, and he's proven out he's very inconsistent. Don't believe Justin Jefferson is coming back this week. You play Jordan Addison, and of course, you play TJ Hawkinson. The other wide receivers, Brandon Powell and KJ Osborne. I used to like KJ Osborne, but I don't think it's happening. He's got inconsistent play from both those guys. The main guy to throw to, or main guys to throw to, or Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. Okay. All right, people. That's it from me. I've showed you some sleepers, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. I don't know what else to tell you. I can tell you this. Good luck in your fantasy matchups. Hopefully you're 1 week closer to getting in the playoffs. Hopefully what I've been giving, the information I've been giving to you, is helping you get by each and every week. Stay strong. Don't give up. Keep pushing and cross your fingers, because fantasy is mainly a little skill and a lot of luck. I keep saying that, and I keep saying it until whatever. I'll keep on saying it because it's the truth. Keep it 100%, people. Have a good one and be well. See ya.